Tonight, as Cheryl Daniels becomes the third woman to pass the $100,000 mark this year, she also hopes to capture her third championship and a leg up on the Player of the Year award. But Wendy Macpherson-Papanos, who's been awfully tough here in Las Vegas, may have plans of her own. ESPN and the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour are proud to present the championship round finals of the Samstown Invitational. Welcome everybody to the headquarters of the national title sponsor of the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, Samstown Hotel, Gambling Hall, and Bowling Center, here for the granddaddy of them all. Hi everybody, I'm John Neighbor, and this is the last stop on the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour. It's got the richest purse on tour, and Leanne Wagner also conceivably could help determine this year's Bowler of the Year.
Well, John, you know, we have so many wonderful players out here on the tour that the race gets very close at the end of the year, and this tournament plays a major role in determining who is honored as the Bowler of the Year. And for Cheryl Daniels tonight, she has the most to gain by a win. If she wins here tonight, she will have won 2 majors for the year, also 1 other title, giving her the most titles of any other player. But a key for her to win is if she can keep the thoughts of Bowler of the Year in the background. Don't let them come to the forefront, because it could jeopardize her appearance tonight. What she might need to concentrate on is the fact that she has won 2 times from the number 2 position already this year.
What should be noted is Cheryl dropped out of our top qualifier position during the position round with a loss to Michelle Mullen, a woman who herself has bowled a perfect game this week.
She bowled a perfect game this week, and she was near perfect all week. She really bowled a super tournament. For her, she said, I feel strong, I feel physically and mentally strong, but she's going to have to try to figure out how to win. She has finished second 3 times this year. 2 of those tournaments she has led, and I talked to her last night. She said, I am going to go out and just try to seize the moment.
Now, before we get to those 2 athletes, I should remind you that in our 3rd position, Wendy Macpherson-Papanos, a local favorite, and starting off in match number 1 is the woman who was runner-up last week, Kim Adler, against a 2-time Bowler of the Year, Leanne Barrette. And Kim Adler is elected to allow Leanne Barrette to start the match on lane 19. Boomer Barrette, at 5 feet 10, she's tall, out of Yukon, Ohio.
It's really nice to see Leanne back into the top 5. She was there a couple weeks ago, but she's struggled this year, and she's just now trying to get back in.
And she goes Brooklyn on the first shot of the day, and gets to sit down with a strike. Kim Adler, Rookie of the Year in 1991, runner-up for Player of the Year in 1993. Hails from Titusville, Florida. Recently moved her belongings to Palm Bay. And she leaves double wood, the 2 and 8s.
Kim won the doubles tournament here with her partner Nancy Fair. It was the Storm doubles right here at Samstown in Las Vegas. She's got good thoughts about coming to this particular pair of lanes, 19 and 20. But I have to mention, John, they actually put in all new lanes here at Samstown this past August, and we'll have to see if that really makes a difference. It didn't appear to so far to figure out who our top 5 were.
Brand new surface as the spare falls in the first. In fact, Wendy Macpherson-Papanos, who's enjoyed great success at this, her home center, has indicated that even when they changed the surface, she's still very pleased to be bowling here. Now, we mentioned at the top of the program that Cheryl Daniels, by the nature of her finishing or qualifying second, will guarantee herself at least $100,000 this year. Kim Adler, with a victory here, would earn over $100,000 for the year.
And also 3 titles for the year.
And the 1-2-8.
Kim would actually be probably considered the dark horse in the race for Bowler of the Year, because she is so close. If she were to win tonight, it would give her 3 tournaments for the year, one of those being a doubles tournament. But it would be difficult to say if she would be honored the Bowler of the Year award, because she would not be leading in earnings or merit points.
But if she bowled all year long the way she's bowled this swing, no question.
No question.
Tommy Adler, her husband, in the crowd. Very important part in her career. is in trouble now here in the second frame with a very difficult split. 7-10.
She made an excellent shot, John, trying to capitalize on that Brooklyn strike that she got in the first frame. The ball just came in a little too light. 5-pin did not take out the 7. 6-pin didn't do its job and take out the 10.
She goes for the count and settles for 9. Leanne, I have to ask you, so far, neither of these bowlers seems lined up on the left lane. Why do you suppose that is?
Well, the conditioner is constantly moving, especially on this type of synthetic surface. It's a head and lane, and the conditioner is going to move on synthetics. And it moves quickly. And they could have such a great shot in practice and start the game, and it almost appears that it's gone.
She finds it this time. She bounces back from the open to strike in the 3rd.
That last shot of Leanne's, John, was... I would never have noticed that they changed the lanes here. That was a characteristic of Samstown. Play very deep. She was inside the 4th arrow here. That is where she gets the best reaction in the back end. Now, Kim, on the other hand, will not be playing that deep. She does not cross as many boards as Leanne. She'll be playing a little bit more direct.
And she finds the pocket here in the 3rd.
Kim's playing just inside the 3rd arrow, right around the 17th board on the right lane. Be interesting to see where she's playing the left lane.
Adler now with a 9-pin lead early in the first match.
Super shot, comes in a little high and leaves the 4-pin. Really could have used the double. She kept it right on line, hit target. Still fishing a little bit on that left lane. A good adjustment after leaving the 1-2.
So as she retires the pins here in the 4th, our first match of play here at the Samstown Invitational will continue when our coverage continues from Las Vegas and Samstown. The championship round finals of the Samstown Invitational are being brought to you by Tagamet HB. The most prescribed medication of its kind is now for heartburn. And by Dremel Multipro Tool. It has the speed you need to power you through hundreds of jobs. Back in the first match, Leanne Barrette in the 4th, working on a strike.
Can take the lead by 1, John, if she doubles right here.
3, 6, 7, 10.
Well, she tried to keep it tighter on line, the ball just cutting so sharply right before the head pin. Now this is a makeable spare. She's going to try to throw the 3-pin into the 7-pin. She'll hit right of the 3-pin. The ball will then take out the 6 and the 10, and hopefully the 3 will fly into the 7.
The native of Yukon, Oklahoma, this year helped raise over $40,000 for the victims of the Oklahoma City disaster. Holding a bowling event. And perfect placement and picks it up.
Super shot. Big smile. Watch the ball here as it's going to hit right of the 3-pin. The ball then takes out the 6 and the 10. The 3-1 pin will go right into the 7.
And Leanne's pretty stoic about the whole thing, but it's a spare nonetheless. Now trailing by 9.
Just don't give up any extra pins.
She was talking to us earlier about how she performs well in longer format competitions, that patience is one of her keys.
In this tournament being 56 games versus our normal 42.
And a washout with the 1-2-10.
The ball getting away from her there. She needs to keep it very tight. Now, because she kept the last shot on lane 20 tight and she saw that extra little hook in the back end, she gave it a little bit more room. She's been working on her physical game right now she's not real sharp. She's going to try to throw the head pin into the 10 pin.
Oh, boy, how close can you get?
I was going to say, looks good. That's exactly how you...
It did look good.
It looked good. I thought that head pin was going to get it.
Kim Adler, our leader now by 23 pins. Got a spare in the 4th.
In 1993, Kim was runner-up to Player of the Year. Also that year, she was 4th. Right here at Samstown in the Invitational.
And the 9 pin does not fall. Kim's had a great swing. Something's turned in her mind. She's become more aggressive. She's become much more deadly in television competition.
I asked her if she learned anything off of last week, and she said yes, just to be a little more flexible. If our viewers recall, she allowed Anne-Marie Dugan to finish on her good lane. Kim said that's because it's written in stone. I let them start the match, therefore they finish the match no matter if I have a better shot on one lane or another. And she said I have to become more flexible. So she learned a lesson through that experience.
Leading by 22. She bowled a perfect game last week. And saw herself move all the way up to the championship match.
Her 8th of her career.
And there she goes. Striking the 6th.
A 6-time All-American, Leanne Barrette, John, in only 8 years on tour, accomplished so much for just being 28 years old. She came out, she took the tour by storm, but has really struggled this year, and last year was the start of her struggle. That know the sport of bowling, you know when you start struggling, then you start losing your confidence, and it's difficult to regain it. But Leanne has felt this week she's very grateful to make the telecast here this week, because it was going to be a big building block for next year.
And a pickup on a spare in the 6th.
Leanne's changed her physical game. Look how low she holds the ball. She is trying not to push the ball out at all, just drop it right into the swing. How low her shoulders are, how steady her head is, that deep knee bend. She's in excellent physical shape.
Still trailing by 22. Working on the spare in the 6th.
Worked with Freddie Borden on her physical game here recently.
And she almost goes Brooklyn again, leaving the 3-2. Or almost succeeds when she went Brooklyn, I should say. 8 pins down in the 7th. Not going to help her standings here.
Leanne last won in Alexandria, Louisiana in '94. She averaged 252, qualified 5th in that for that telecast, but averaged 252 on her way to win that tournament.
And she picks them both up. Nicely done for Leanne Barrette, who finished 3rd here at Samstown in May when she bowled in the doubles competition with Kathy Doran. We'll be back with the conclusion of the 3rd match in just a moment. During the break, Kim Adler had an open in the 7th and a spare in the 8th. Leanne Barrette just struck in the 8th and now delivers her 9th frame shot. And hits dead center on the nose.
Again, struggling on the left lane. Kim Adler, might add's open frame in the 7th was the 4-9. She did hit the pocket. Thought she was going to actually turn around and give it back to Leanne Barrette here. Leanne could have struck there and really got back into this match, but right now she still trails by 12 pins. 2, please.
She spoke to it, didn't she?
She said, 2, please.
So a spare in Barrette's foundation frame sets up Adler here in the 9th, working on her spare. Adler's TV per average at 211. She gets them all here.
Versus Leanne Barrette's 226. I might add, neither of these players have bowled against each other in the championship round television finals.
So 12 pins up. She walks off the sheet. It's all over.
Kim can shoot a possible 204. The best Leanne can do is 192. Or I take that back, 150, or 182. 182. How good that's going.
A good start for Adler in the 10th.
That locked it up right there.
And I think Barrette knows it.
She does. She really struggled on the left lane. And then not getting the break on that 710 on the right.
5 pins here. Puts it out of reach. And at this level, you'd be amazed if she didn't get them. She gets them all. With one more ball remaining, Kim Adler is guaranteed to advance after the first match. Leanne Barrette, 5th place finish. $3,800 here in the richest purse of the year. Not a bad pay stub. When we come back, we'll show you the rest of the top 24 athletes here at this week's competition, as Kim Adler advances to meet Wendy Macpherson Papanos just around the corner. Is it 3 in a row in the 10th? Sure enough. More than enough. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now the start of match number 3 is Cheryl Daniels, who was leading the field until the position round. He likes to start off this match.
Cheryl's back on the telecast after a couple weeks where she really struggled, did not make the top 24 a couple weeks ago in Detroit. Said, but she felt like she was bowling well. Her physical game was there, but it was her equipment that she was having trouble with.
35-year-old out of Detroit, Michigan. This is her 16th year on the tour, and yet this year will be the first time she earns more than $100,000 in a single season.
A few players going over that $100,000 mark this year, thanks to Sam's Town, our umbrella sponsor for the ladies tour. They have added money last year, this year, next year, and it's just wonderful to be here at their home. Got a quick look at Kim's lane breakdown. Definitely likes lane 19 better than lane 20, plus she has finished up on lane 19 both times, so she threw in a couple extra shots on the lane.
Adler has really matured into the role of a major contender for Bowler of the Year in the last couple of years. Runner-up for that title in 1993. Has earned 4 titles in her career, most recently a couple of weeks ago in Baltimore. It'll be 3 weeks ago now. Her husband travels with her. Computer whiz kid who also enjoys a little foosball in the off hours.
They did buy a home in Florida, but
they haven't slept in it yet.
Haven't slept in it.
That's
but,
right.
We're very comfortable in their motorhome now.
And another ringing 10.
Ringing 10s you see a lot here at Sam's Town, partially because of ball speed, entry angle into the pocket. Leanne Barrette mentioned that if she felt she needed to keep her ball speed a little slower this week, she carried better.
2 spares in a row for Adler. Has had but 1 open frame in the first 2 matches. Now Cheryl Daniels. 9 titles in her career. Most recently a major, the BPA US Open. Oh, big hit, but the 4 did not fall.
You know, Cheryl tries to look at every tournament the same, whether it be a major or just another tournament. She says, I go in there looking at them as equals, so she doesn't try to put any extra pressure on herself to bowl well in a major. Daniels, 5-step approach also, just carries the ball through her first step. Look at how low her right shoulder is when she starts. She's going to have very small 3rd and 4th step here. Those are her power steps. A little quicker pace in her timing, then a long slide. Very powerful physical game. Look at the cup wrist as well. A lot of natural release capabilities.
And by leaving a difficult, not impossible, but a difficult split.
4-9 left when the ball drives too hard into the pocket. We saw Kim Adler leave one in the first match against Leanne Barrette. Cheryl Daniels is going to try to send this 4-pin into the 9-pin by hitting left of it.
Cheryl victorious when these two met in match play competition. And she's just going to take the count.
Chance to look at how the 4-9 is left. Normally, you can see there the 5. Well, the ball normally takes out the 9, but that time the ball just drove sharply to the left of it.
So with Daniels open in the third, Adler working on a spare. Leaves the 3-6.
Now, Kim's going to experience some change in the lanes, too. She has been on this pair of lanes for 2 games. Again, they're synthetics, so you're going to see carry down. You're also going to see the oil in the front part of the lane, the conditioner, start to move around. She's probably going to have to end up moving even farther left with her feet and her target.
There in the third, husband Tommy watching on. He's one of the few husbands who travels with the athletes the entire season long.
It's a difficult road.
Well, it's got to be helpful for Kim to have him around.
Very, very much so, as it is for Kathy Zelke, who we saw a couple weeks ago, having Chip out here as well.
Coming up on Sunday, the 19th, that's tomorrow, folks, it's NFL Game Day, the best pregame show on television. Questions like, can Barry Switzer win the big game? The Bears' offense is so good. Why is their defense so bad? It's taking place on a new earlier time this season. Give us all more of the best. NFL Game Day on ESPN, 11:45 Eastern, 8:45 Pacific. Adler up by 11. 3 spares in a row.
In re-racking. Again, players are allowed 2 re-racks per game. If they want any additional re-racks, they have to ask our tournament director, Rick Ramsey, and he will determine if he is going to award it or not.
Just cause. 8 pins down in the fourth. She's been doing a lot of those. 3 of her 4 frames in this match have left 2 pins in the first shot.
What Kim might experience, too, if she moves in left to try to find an oil line, try to bank the ball up against, especially on lane 19, she may find it to actually hook more. She's going to possibly have to go for one whole arrow, move from the 3rd arrow all the way in to the 4th arrow, or even deeper, rather than these little 2- and 3-board moves that we used to do back in the 80s. You say, oh, let's make a 2-and-1 adjustment left. Anymore, it's let's take a giant step left.
Cheryl Daniels making a lot of our television shows this year. One of the top-ranked, in fact, one of the 2 top-ranked bowlers on the tour in tonight's championship finals. 3rd on the money list, 5th on the points list, 4th in the overall average. And she's found her first strike.
Well, we talked about it in the opening. She has everything to gain by winning tonight.
Does that increase the pressure or just the desire?
Oh, I think it increases the pressure. You can see there she's around the 4th arrow, the 20th board, ball held line perfectly. 6-pin taking out the 10, doing its job. It increases the pressure. She has been trying to keep this Bowler of the Year thing in the back of her mind. I can't see how she can do that, though.
Well, she makes them 2 in a row with that strike in the 5th. 3 times she's won titles, starting in the number 2 position. 2 of those times have come this year.
Watch this pin action here. The ball very light. Head pin off the wall. Actually tripped out the 4 and the 7, and she is pumped. And you get a couple breaks like this, then it's easy to get into the moment.
And those 2 strikes have put Adler in a trailing position, down by 1 pin. And another ringing 10.
Cheryl's been on tour 16 years versus this lady here being on tour 4 years. You know, Cheryl really wants it. However, this lady is very aggressive, and Kim really wants it too.
Kim has found the maturity that goes long beyond her relatively brief period on tour.
She actually was mentioning last week, look at the scoreboard, Kim trailing by 2, trying to get something going. She has not been able to throw a strike in the first 5 frames, and yet we saw her throw so many in the last 2 games, so the lanes are obviously changing.
Kim was telling us yesterday that the left lane felt tighter all week. I don't know if that comes out across, but she's expecting the left lane to be tighter today.
To be a little tighter. A lot of times a characteristic of a certain bowling center will be that one lane might be tighter than another.
Well, there it comes. Adler's first strike in the 3rd match comes in the 6th frame, and we'll see if that will be the beginning of a trend or a momentary lapse. Cheryl Daniels getting a short break while we take one too. When we come back, more of match number 3.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in this ESPN program.
Time for the ceremonial handshake. Starting off the final match, the championship match, and Michelle Mullen, perhaps taking some wind out of Cheryl's sails, elects to step up first.
And before we get started, we'd like to wish Dick Evans a quick recovery. Dick was the chairman of the selection committee for the Hall of Fame. He recently had a heart attack. He's home recovering, and I know he was sorry he couldn't be here today for the special inaugural event, and we're sorry you couldn't either, Dick.
Hopefully he's watching this right now. Slow start for Michelle.
It's going to be difficult for Michelle to get going quickly. Coming in as the top seed, this type of tournament, a lot at stake. It's a major. There's more money involved. She's been sitting in the wings for the past hour and 10 minutes. Now she has to come out cold. Cheryl Daniels has experienced the change of the condition.
So Michelle, who's earned 3 titles in her career, sits down. Cheryl Daniels, who's earned 3 titles, beginning in the number 2 position, is looking to make that number 4.
Lane 20 appearing to be Cheryl's better lane. She will not finish on that lane. She'll finish on lane 19.
Well, she does seem to have this lane figured out nicely. Daniels said to us the other day, this is the best year I've ever had. See, in match play, she split with Michelle.
She came into the spring bowled super. She said, I just hope I can continue that in the fall.
Leaves the 2.
A lot of players you see only make it a big run in one of the swings, then they kind of fall off, but Cheryl's done it the majority of the year.
JOHNFALZONE, the president of the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, in attendance. In fact, he's sitting right behind lane 19.
Cheryl hopes to finish a music project here in the break, trying to get her song released. You Can Be the One, that's the title of the song. She says, I need to get this done. Now we'll have a couple months off.
She acknowledges that releasing a song is more than just creating with music. It's dealing with lawyers, accountants, business people. Oh, Michelle working on her ball right now.
Taking a piece of tape out. It's very important to have a correct release. She wants to get a correct feel. Now she's putting it in. So apparently one may have slipped on her, and she wants to make sure it's not going to slide up or slip, and it stays right in place.
Michelle, more than any bowler on tour, is known for the work she does as a coach of Team USA, conducting clinics all around the country.
For 2 years, she's been a member of the coaching staff for Team USA.
Going left to the head pin, leaves the 6.
Now, Michelle did not watch too much of the play prior to coming out here on the lanes, and by the way they changed, we saw Kim Adler all of a sudden not really be able to get to the pocket consistently from the start. Remember, this lady practiced a long time ago. She did get 6 shots, though, in warm-up.
Would you say that might be a tactical mistake, not to pay attention? There's so much to be learned by watching how the other bowlers' equipment travels down the lane.
Yes, but you've really got to watch a player that bowls very similar to your style. Both of these players actually do arc the ball a little bit through the front part of the lane. However, Cheryl Daniels is trying to go a little more direct. She is so deep, but I think if Michelle Mullen can get that far left, she'd be able to get to the pocket.
And everyone here exhausting their breath, exhaling their breath, wondering, oh, what do you have to do?
An extra little look at the pin by Michelle. She threw that super. She did move farther left. The ball held pocket. 5-pin normally takes out the 8. Flew straight back.
John Sommer, chairman of the board of the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, very much in evidence this week. All the brass has shown up in Samstown to attend to this, the granddaddy of them all. Cheryl up again. 3 times she's won the title, starting from number 2. This is her 8th TV appearance. In fact, she won the doubles competition when it took place here in Samstown this year.
And that was with Jocelyn Jennings, but the doubles she won this year was the PBA Senior Tours with her senior tour partner, Jim Brenner, at the Ladies in Legends. That was in El Cajon, California.
Oh, very close. Skids the 10 into the channel for the spare, and the smile all around. Coming up, the NFL on ESPN. Football at its finest. The Oilers are in the hunt for a playoff berth in the Central Division of the AFC against the Chiefs defense. It'll take place 8 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Here are Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann as they call the action. Oh, missing the head pin leaves the washout, of course.
Chance to look at the 10-pin that she just picked up. She's stuck on the line. Actually, what that causes you to do is raise up. Ball hooks, almost missed the 10-pin. She was looking up at the heavens. However, here she got very quick with her feet, out of time. Ball sailed to the right.
Looked like she was speaking to herself. Too high and unable to get them all. Opening for Michelle Mullen.
Cheryl looking over at the scoreboard. John, that was a big turnaround because here Cheryl had all the momentum going for her. She caught the break with the 10-pin, looked up at the heavens, yeah, this is my night, and turns around, gets a little quick, sends it to the right, and the lane condition is not suited to do that. You cannot open up. You've got to keep the ball tight through the front part of the lane. Oh.
They're not falling for her here.
Michelle Mullen's mom, Jackie.
She calls her good luck charm. Jackie is Michelle's good luck charm, she says. Every time I've done well, it seems like Mom's almost always been there.
Big sigh from Michelle after the 8-pin and then backing it up with a swishing 7-pin where the 5 just blew right in front of the 7. Mentioned in the opening, John, that Michelle had finished second 3 times this year. She has actually finished second twice this year, but in her last 3 television appearances, she has finished second.
Bowled a perfect game this week. One wonders what Cheryl Daniels is thinking about it. Michelle said quite candidly that she's been doing a lot of prayer recently. She's very fatalistic in her attitude of how she does. Whatever will be, but a little prayer every now and then might not hurt. She said what she said. I might be due for a win this week. It's probably her turn. Possibly so.
She led after the 32 games of qualifying, then she fell to 4th, 2nd, and grabbed the lead last night in the position round game. Hook. Oh.
Even shouting at the ball didn't help. 7-10 split.
Now this is where you sort of want to throw your hands up in the air and go, come on. Now I've left a solid 8, swishing 7, and now the 7-10. I have the lead. Just let me get something going here.
No one can argue she's not been trying different things.
Well, she's executing, and she's hitting the pocket where one day all those are going to fall. She opened up the door for Cheryl Daniels.
One open begets another. Mike Kaufman in the upper right-hand corner of your screen there is the director of bowling here at Samstown. You might see him presenting some of the awards after this match. Smooth release. The 10 stays up.
Now for Cheryl Daniels, if it was something that if she stuck on the approach, something she hit in her footwork, that could cause her to think twice about this 10-pin here. No problem with her footwork.
Very smooth. They say she's extremely mechanically sound as these two bowlers are even halfway through the championship match.
Both players at this point really deserve to win this title. Michelle, for what she has left so far, what she's accomplished throughout the week, how many seconds she has finished. Cheryl Daniels, for how good she has bowled up to this point as well.
4-pin.
Cheryl leading this tournament 3 out of the 7 rounds. She fell no lower than 3rd through the whole tournament, the most consistent of all 5 of our finalists tonight. Took a 214 average to make the TV show this week, 210 to make match play. The scores were really high.
Maybe we can thank the hospitality of our hosts as well. Samstown, not only the title sponsor of the tour, but of course putting everybody up nicely here in this great gaming area and bowling center.
Come on.
Here, this time the ball listened.
And Samstown recently went through a major renovation. Absolutely gorgeous. New restaurants, new rooms.
That strike gives Mullen the lead by 1.
And a chance to increase it to 11 with a strike here in the 7th. Michelle just trying to seize the moment, as she told me last night, taking a little extra time, a deep breath.
Her last title in 1993. 3 times she's been on television this year. 4 times she's been on television at events taking place here in Las Vegas.
Carry.
You ought to talk more often, Michelle. It's starting to pay off. 2 strikes in a row for Mullen as she increases her lead.
Well, Michelle and newly inducted Hall of Famer Donna Adamek led this doubles tournament a few years ago. They ended up finishing 2nd, though. They did not win it here.
Delivered not 1 but 2 messages on that occasion.
You know, so many times, John, I can almost predict at this point who's going to win because of the way the breaks are going, but I don't know, that was through the nose. Look at this head pin. Takes out the 6 and the 10. Cheryl again, both fists up in the air. All right.
And that seems to have turned the corner in her mind as well. After her strike in the first frame, Cheryl hasn't struck until those last 2 in a row.
And if you look at the way the breaks were going, Michelle's here hit pocket 3 times, was not able to strike. She did get the double. Cheryl Daniels goes through the nose, strikes, capitalizes on it, gets the double.
She's talking to pins, and unfortunately that didn't work.
That was the head pin. It had the momentum to get there, but it slowed up right before it reached the 10. We're going to get a chance to see it. Watch the head pin go up against the left wall. 6-pin sits in the channel, but here it goes. And you heard Michelle yell, carry, carry, but stopped right in front of her.
So with that spare, the match is tied. 2 frames remaining.
But notice Cheryl Daniels has the advantage because she is working on 2 strikes right now. Michelle Mullen can shoot .213. Cheryl Daniels can shoot .223.
That's the way to start.
That was a big frame, the 9th frame. Set herself up, so at least she'll have a chance in the 10th. But Cheryl Daniels can walk away with this title with a strike here in the 9th and 2 in the 10th.
No help.
Now is that head pin again. This time falling short for Cheryl Daniels.
It's going to be a great finish.
It
Very
already
exciting.
is.
Very exciting. So she'll grab the spare to trail by 1. She bowls off the sheet in the 10th frame now.
If Cheryl Daniels can strike out for .202, she'll force Michelle Mullen to throw the first strike in the 10th and then back it up with at least a 9 count for the tie and 2nd strike for the win. Look at her lips moving.
You could tell the way she delivered.
She really wanted it. You know, this is where, is this the bowler of the year thoughts come into mind? Is this, I've got to win this, I can make it. That shot was not a free swing. It was a forced release.
Her right shoulder down again.
Chance to see how early she turns the ball here. The ball's already turned left. She needed to stay under it, behind it a little longer. That's her normal release.
Spare in the 10th for Daniels.
She is going to force Michelle Mullen to mark in the 10th frame and pin count. Michelle is going to need at least a spare and 7 pins.
See how all the people in the crowd are studying the score.
Wasted no time.
Well, that's it. That's it for $18,000.
I'm surprised she didn't know. Did you hear her turn around and go, did I win?
Well, she told us all week she was ignoring her standings, but just had a sense.
Yeah.
Well, here, that sense has to come through, and the good luck charm pays off one more time.
Wow, I'm talking about patience here. Things were not going Michelle's way for the first 5 frames. The breaks definitely were going towards Cheryl Daniels, and what a turnaround. She hung in there. She didn't let it bother her mentally. Really, what a wonderful finish.
Well, that's good sportsmanship there on the hardwood. One more ball, the fill ball to remain. And with Cheryl Daniels, $9,000 in second place, you can almost guarantee that will not win her the bowler of the year this year. 202 to 189. A very exciting finish. And Michelle Mullen adds one more title to her career. Cheers well deserved. Hall of Famers in the crowd nodding and applauding for you with a national title. Television coverage. See the Hall of Famers?
Helen Duvall, Marion Ladowicz, Shirley Garnes, WIBC president. Joyce Beach.
We'll be back with the word with the 1995 $107,000 Sam's Town Invitational in just a moment.